This is the follow-up to Atlantic Motor Cars customers two-piece Sprinter van rear shaft that had a center bearing change and came down for me to make sure the balance was tuned up as much as possible to ensure good drivability for their customer when it's back in the vehicle. So I speculated earlier that I was going to change the index between Part A and Part B, the second section, and rotate it around on the splines. I did that. I couldn't get to any spot where it was better than it was. So because it was calling for, these are the OE weights that were on it, they were exactly in the wrong spot, basically. It was calling for weight 180 degrees opposite to correct what we have going on here. So you can see I gently ground those down to expose the spot weld, got it down to tin foil, and then just gently peeled it off and buffed it up a little bit. These are large diameter, but they are thin wall, and these shafts as a whole, every one of them I've encountered is incredibly sensitive, and you got to treat them like that. You can't go banging on them and ripping on them. If you just rip these things off, like try and pry them off, you'll put a hole in that tubing. So, obviously we don't want that. So I adjusted the weight package extensively. Just about like every one of these that I've encountered, they're incredibly fussy. A small correction has a huge result, and that's the way this one was, and it's really not happy until it's happy. And so now it's in its happy spot. That's going about 2,900. We'll whack her up a little bit more. That's about 3,000 RPM. 0 at the transmission, 0 at the center bearing, and 0 at the rear axle. All of the effort here this time, and similar to last time, I believe, most of these, when there's a center bearing involved, a lot of times on many shafts, a two-piece shaft, most of the work you do is at the center bearing area to get that to run right, and that was the case here. So we're going to say this is a good result for the Sprinter van, and I like the tune-up on it, and we're going to get the paint touched up, and we will get it back to Motor Car.